Let's discuss the exercise in chapter Nutrition in Plants. The first question is, why do organisms need food? Food is the source of energy, and living organisms need energy for their growth, building of body, to carry out life process like running, walking, etc. The body need energy also to repair the body damage and also to fight against invading pathogen or disease causing organisms. Second, distinguish between a parasite and a saprotroph. Parasites are organisms that grows on the body of another organism and derive nutrient directly from the organism. And the organism affected by a parasite is called a host. And they directly feed on the host and take nutrition directly from the host. Example, cuscuta, growing on trees. Saprotrophs are organisms which grows on dead or decaying matter. They usually digest and absorb the nutrient from the decaying food, and they feed on dead or decaying organisms. Example, fungi. Third, how do you test the presence of starch in leaves? So, the experiment consisting of the following steps. The first step, take a fresh leaf growing in the presence of sunlight. You can also take leaf from a plant that is growing in darkness for a long time, which can be taken as a negative control. Second step, take both the leaves and boil them in water for a few minutes. And this is to kill and remove the cuticle. Third step, take the same leaves and heat or boil in 90% ethanol to remove the chlorophyll from the leaf. Fourth step, now wash the leaf in cold water to make it sturdy. Fifth step, now dip the leaf in iodine solution. And now you have two leaves, one which was from a plant which was growing under sunlight for a long time, and another one which was growing in darkness for a long time. And the leaf from the plant which was growing under sun will give you a blue color change, and the one which was growing under darkness will not change color, which is an indication of the production of starch in leaf. Fourth question, give a brief description of the process of synthesis of food in green plants. And the process is called photosynthesis, and this is carried out in the leaf in the presence of a color giving pigment called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll combine water and carbon dioxide using sunlight to form carbohydrate in the form of starch and release oxygen. Plants get water through absorption by the roots and carbon dioxide through small pore-like structure which is found on the leaf, which are called stomata, and sunlight directly from the sun. And the byproduct of the photosynthesis are carbohydrate and oxygen get released to the atmosphere through the same stomata. Now show with the help of a sketch that plants are the ultimate source of food. Sunlight or sun is the ultimate source of energy, and using the energy, plants or autotrophs start making starch or carbohydrate and store in their body. Once herbivores start feeding on the plants, they will get the same energy trapped in the form of carbohydrates. Once carnivores or omnivores feed on the herbivores or plants directly, they will get the food. So when we take a big picture, ultimately plants are the ultimate source of food, where sun is the ultimate source of energy. Finally, when all these organisms die and decay, saprotrophs feeds on this decay matter. And finally, they are also getting the same nutrients which was synthesized by the plant using solar energy. Now, fill in the blanks. Green plants are called autotrophs because they synthesize their own food, basically the nutrients. Second, food synthesized by plants is stored as starch. Usually, they make carbohydrate and store in the form of starch. In the photosynthesis, solar energy is absorbed by the pigments called chlorophyll. And in plants, there are other pigments as well, which will give them different colors. But even if it is so, chlorophyll is the main pigment which carry out the photosynthesis. Fourth one, during photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen gas through same pore-like structure called stomata. Next, parasite plants with yellow, slender and branched stem are called cuscuta. Plant with partially autotrophic behavior is called pitcher plant because they feed on flea or other insect for their nitrogen requirement. Third, pores through which leaves exchange gases are called stomata. Singular form of stomata is stoma. Eighth question. Cuscuta is an example of parasite because it feeds on another tree or a plant for its nutrition requirement. Second question. The plant which traps and feed on insect is insectivorous plant. Pitcher plant is an example for insectivorous plant. Ninth question. Match the items given in column 1 with those in column 2. Chlorophyll is observed in leaves. Nitrogen fixation or nitrogen absorption is done by rhizobium. Cuscuta is an example for parasitic plant. Animals are heterotrophs. Insectivorous plant is pitcher plant. Next, carbon dioxide is released during photosynthesis, which is a false statement because plants absorb carbon dioxide through stomata for the photosynthesis and release oxygen. Second question. Plants which synthesize their own food are called saprotrophs. Wrong. Because plants which synthesize their own food are called autotrophs. Saprotrophs are organisms which feeds on dead or decaying matter. The product of photosynthesis is not a protein. It's a true statement, right? The product of photosynthesis is carbohydrate. Even though protein is synthesized within the plant leaves, the product of photosynthesis is always carbohydrate and they store it in form of starch. Choose the correct option from the following. Which part of the plant takes in carbon dioxide from the air for photosynthesis? Stomata. Singular form is stoma. Next, choose the correct option from the following. Plants take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere mainly through their leaves. And the structure which is performing the function are called stoma. And plural form is stomata, which are guarded by guard cells. Now, why do farmers grow many fruits and vegetable crops inside large greenhouses? What are the advantages to the farmers? Greenhouse is a controlled facility where farmers can grow plants so that they can avoid harsh external environments like high blowing wind, heavy rain or heavy sunlight. And so that they can control the temperature which is required for the optimal plant growth. And using the greenhouse effect or greenhouse plants, the farmers can also protect the plants from birds and other animals like rodents and pests. So they can make sure plants are growing very healthy. Now I have some extra questions. First one, what is a cell? Draw symbol diagram of a cell. Cells are building blocks of a living organism. And some organisms are made of only one cell, for example bacteria. And we can observe a cell only with the help of a microscope. Coming to the structure, cells are consisting of an outer membrane, which is called a cell membrane, which surrounds the cell. within the cell membrane they have specialized structure called nucleus, and contained within the cell membrane they have a gel-like material which is called cytoplasm, and the cytoplasm and the nucleus is protected by cell membrane. Now this is a fun exercise for you. You can find and mark the animals with different mode of nutrition. After marking, you can say what kind of nutrition these animals follow. For example, human. Human is an example for omnivorous kind of nutrition. Lion is a carnivorous. Horse, herbivore. Trees are autotrophs. Cuscuta is an example for a parasite. Likewise, you can find all those animals in the table, as well as you can differentiate or make a table with different mode of nutrition. Now, I have a few questions so that you can do it yourself. First one, difference between a plant cell and an animal cell. If you have any doubt, you can go back to my channel and find the first chapter video where I have described in detail what are the major difference between a plant cell and an animal cell. And you can make a table writing plant cell in a column, animal cell in another column, and write down the major difference. Second, why insectivorous plants are called partial heterotrophs or partial autotrophs? The answer is again there in my video. Third question, what are the different ways to replenish soil with the nutrients? And you can go back to my channel, find the video, and answer is there. If you like my channel or if you like the video, you can subscribe my channel. And you can give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And click on the bell button so that you can get more information or notification when I publish new videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.